Marrakesh by George Orwell. If you look at this map, you can see what Africa looked like during the Second World War and indeed leading up to that. Most of it is ruled by one of the European powers. The pink is British, but we're going to be most concerned with the French possessions. Morocco, where this story is set, is at the top of the map. And if you look at the far left of the map, the far left of French West Africa, you'll be able to see the Gambia, and round about that, although it's not named in the map, is Senegal, which is going to be mentioned later in the story. As the corpse went past, the flies left the restaurant table in a cloud and rushed after it, but they came back a few minutes later. The little crowd of mourners, all men and boys, no women, threaded their way across the marketplace between the piles of pomegranates and the taxis and the camels, wailing a short chant over and over again. What really appeals to the flies is that the corpses here are never put into coffins. They're merely wrapped in a piece of rag and carried in a rough wooden bier on the shoulders of 4 friends. When the friends get to the burying ground, they hack an oblong hole a foot or 2 deep, dump the body in it, and fling over it a little of the dried up lumpy earth, which is like broken brick. No gravestone, no name, no identifying mark of any kind. The burying ground is merely a huge waste of hummocky earth, like a derelict building lot. After a month or 2, no one can even be certain where his own relatives are buried. So this is a very striking description of a funeral. And here you can see a picture of what he's talking about. No coffin, the body simply carried wrapped in a shroud. In this picture, which is a more modern one, we can't see any flies. The flies are a horrific detail that he gives us in this story. And the idea that when you're eating in a restaurant, you're surrounded by flies, which we would find pretty disgusting. They go off to see the corpse and then they come straight back to the food, is a really chilling one. We also find out that women are not part of the mourners. They're hidden away somewhere. It's the men who are coming out just now. And we find out how difficult it is to bury bodies. The earth is so dry and hard that digging something 6 feet deep is unthinkable. We'll find out later on that there's very little in the way of machinery to do it. It would have to be done by hand. And even done by hand, it is backbreaking. So we have quite a strong sense of the disease that is likely to result from this, the flies, and the fact that bodies can't actually be buried properly. And it's really horrifying to think that we have people in a situation where we can't even give them a decent burial. That helps to emphasise the poverty that he sees. Now, in this channel are a number of videos, about 8 in all, which will let you find out a little bit more about this story, which I would recommend that you do before attempting the quiz.